Welcome, everybody. We're going to get started momentarily. My name is Susan Power, and I am founder and CEO of Power Up Leadership. Thank you for taking some time out of your day to be here today. This is Coaching Skills for Managers. Just give me a moment. I'm going to bring up the slides, settle in, and we'll get started momentarily. Perfect. Okay, this webinar is being recorded. So we will be sending out the recording tomorrow, and you're welcome to share it with anyone you think would benefit from it. There is a Q&A portion at the end of the webinar, so definitely jot down any questions you have as we go through this. Welcome to Coaching Skills for Managers Masterclass. If your managers have struggled with integrating team coaching in their day-to-day work, by the end of this program, your managers will have a deeper understanding of coaching frameworks and skills, and they'll have an opportunity to practice coaching techniques as led by a ICF International Coaching Federation coach, which will help managers become more comfortable embracing coachable moments. So the purpose of today is to give you some sneak peek in terms of what the fuller program includes, but also to share with you the 3 secrets that we uncovered on coaching skills for managers as we created this program. So the intent is really to empower your managers so they take a coaching approach with their team, which enables their team to reach their full potential. And as a result, your managers become more engaged in the process because they're spending more of their time coaching and developing their team and supporting them to find their own answers rather than just telling them what to do. So it's really about moving away from this command and control approach that really was the focus of the workplace when I joined the workplace 20 years ago, to taking a coaching approach. So it's transforming your people managers into the type of leaders who have the skills to empower, develop, and motivate their teams. And we know as a result of this that impactful manager coaches drive higher performance. So there's a direct profitability link with leadership effectiveness and coaching. We have the data to support that. And as a result, employees become more engaged, they achieve better outcomes, and they take more accountability when they feel that they're trusted and empowered by their managers. So our goal is really to transform your managers from overworked employees into impactful coaches who drive performance, drive accountability on their teams. And managers want this too. They want to avoid the pain of receiving low quality work at the last minute from their direct reports. When this happens, managers are scrambling to complete the work at an acceptable quality level, often at the last minute. And as a result, they start micromanaging their team to avoid that pain in the future. And we all know everyone hates working for a manager who is a micromanager, because it screams that they don't trust their team, and it shows that they don't think their team's going to deliver. And often they micromanage because they feel they have no other choice. So coaching can help solve that problem. So the learning objectives for this masterclass are to share with you the 3 secrets of why coaching works, to share with you a few case studies from Power Up Leadership that showcase the power of coaching. And I'll share with you a few lessons I've learned from 2 of the coaches that I've had the privilege to work with. And finally, we will give you some more details, a preview of our fuller coaching skills program, and open it up to any Q&A. So Power Up Leadership, if you're not familiar with us, we have been in business for 6 years. We are 100% remote. So I'm here in Halifax in my home office today. We have an agile team of 4 employees across Canada and 50 ICF credentialed coaches that work with us on a by-project basis. And our focus is really about creating inspired leadership through coaching and through our training programs. Our big, hairy, audacious goal is to create 1 million inspired leaders by 2033. And we do this through the design and delivery of leadership coaching and training programs. And really, we have this vision because we know that inspired leadership results in exceptional insight. It results in managers who can coach and support their teams to be successful. And it impacts the communities that we live in as well as the workplace. So leadership isn't confined to just the workplace. When leaders grow their leadership skills, they have a much bigger impact on their families, their communities. So this is an important goal to us, and one that our team certainly buys into, and we're able to impart this through every leader we coach and every leader that comes through one of our programs, because we know they're working with potentially hundreds of other leaders through the course of their career. So this is something we actively track as one of our measures of effectiveness at PowerUp. So what is coaching? If you have never worked with a coach, it is quite groundbreaking for most people, and it can be an eye-opener in terms of the impact coaching can have on both their personal and professional lives. So the global body that credentials coaches is an organization called ICF, International Coaching Federation. That's where I am certified, and all our coaches are ICF coaches, and they define coaching as partnering with clients in a thought-provoking creative process to inspire them to maximize both their personal and professional credential. So just for instance, there's 3 levels of credentialing through ICF. A professional certified coach, which is the middle one, you require at least 500 plus hours of coaching, paid coaching experience, and 125 hours of coach education. So anyone can hang up their shingle and call themselves a coach, but it's a pretty rigorous process to get certified. You need to submit coaching transcripts that are reviewed, analyzed, etc. So it's a good quality marker. If you're hiring like a one-on-one coach, I recommend asking them if they are ICF certified. So it is similar to maybe some of you on the call. My story professionally is I was in an executive role, and I was promoted pretty quickly within the organization. And when I was promoted, at the time, my kids were much younger than they are now, but I felt a little bit unsupported. And I had a large team, a demanding job. I was traveling a lot, and I struggled to manage the stress and the workload. The work-life integration did not exist for me. And part of this was my own, lack of boundaries, of setting expectations and just trying to do probably too much. But I struggled because I didn't have that support. I didn't have that coaching. I didn't really know even how to solve the problems that I was faced with. So when I left my corporate role 6 years ago, I discovered coaching and became certified as a coach and launched Power Up Leadership. And we've been fortunate, we've grown quite quickly. And my goal from the beginning was to level up the quality of leadership in our workplaces. So other executives, managers, didn't feel the way that I felt, where I felt like I didn't even know where to go for support. I didn't have a coach. So I understand the pressure that managers are under, and that they need a support system in place to be successful, both personally and professionally. So hence, 6 years later, Coaching Skills for Managers was born. And it's really the only way for you to transform your managers from overworked middle managers into impactful coaches who drive high performance, who increase employee engagement and achieve exceptional outcomes, driving accountability on their teams, is to transform and upskill their leadership capabilities. So transforming your managers into impactful coaches who can deliver outcomes. And that's the focus of this program. By the end of it, the managers who go through this will have countless opportunities to practice coaching, to observe coaching, and to feel comfortable doing this in their workplace. So the challenge often with coaching is spotting those coachable moments as you're in a meeting, as you're having a one-on-one with one of your directs. And by practicing coaching and learning the techniques, you spot them right away. And I think that's a big piece that comes through having the dedicated time to practice coaching. We know that it creates a positive work environment. Coaching creates stronger work relationships, and it really empowers managers to coach their team to reach their full potential. And as a result, as they're starting to see the benefits of the higher quality work that their directs are producing, managers become more engaged and bought into the process and use coaching more to support their directs to find their own answers rather than just telling them what to do and breaking it down step by step what they need to do next. And I'm not saying coaching is the answer for every problem, but it's certainly an essential part of a manager's leadership toolkit, especially the type of workplace that Gen Z employees want to be part of going forward. So, as I mentioned earlier, all our coaches are ICF certified, and we really are focused on bringing the top quality executive coaching and expertise to support leaders. So we study leadership best practices. I get coaching from Anthony Robbins' group. We study John Maxwell. We're in the entrepreneur program with Dan Martell. So we're learning from world-class coaches, multiple streams, multiple programs, and we bring these insights and we share them with our clients, which helps build their coaching skill set as well. We piloted this program, Coaching Skills for Managers, in 2023 with 75 managers at WorkSafe New Brunswick. And if you're in Ontario or out of province, that's like the workers' compensation, WSIB in Ontario, workers' compensation in Nova Scotia. So we tested out the program, and really the objectives when we designed it for this client were to help support them create and build a coaching culture, to provide the frameworks for managers to coach effectively, and to give them a chance to practice so their managers could coach and empower their direct reports to become more self-sufficient and find their own answers. And the feedback we received after taking them through this program was that it was effective for them. And the managers, at least the ones that I worked with, we had a team of coaches involved in it, really found it surprising because they thought they knew what coaching was going into it. And many of them believed that they were coaching their employees. But when they learned the frameworks, they learned the techniques, they realized there was a lot more to coaching than what they realized. And they really weren't tapping into it beyond a surface level. So this was some of the positive feedback we received. The resources they appreciated after each coaching session, receiving personalized resources, and really realizing that there are structured approaches, there are techniques you can put in place. Coaching isn't always just flying by the seat of your pants to support your employees. So it can definitely save managers time to give them those resources at their fingertips. The first case study that I wanted to share with you is specific to a client who the coaching challenge was they were lacking motivation and purpose in her role. And I'm still working, this is a one-on-one client, I'm still working with her. And she came to me feeling quite bored in her role. She had been in the role for a few years, and she felt that she was kind of keeping this under wraps, that others weren't observing her boredom, but she was not engaged in her role and feeling frustrated and just, not feeling like she was really delivering her full value in the role. So I walked her through an annual goal setting framework, and really she was able to uncover her own sense of new possibilities, her own sense of purpose, and continue to clarify with her what action she can take to take control of her career. And I highlight this case study in particular because I think managers sometimes miss that employees are bored or disengaged. And by having a coaching conversation and asking the right question, they could retain many more employees and uncover this so they don't just resign one day and take a manager by surprise. So really getting clear on the goals help this individual uncover her purpose. The second case study I'll share with you that shows the impact of coaching is a sales executive who had a major career transition. So in her new role, she was responsible for building a new territory from the ground up. And it was quite daunting to her because she had been in a role for several years where she, had the relationships with the customers. She felt very comfortable in her role, and all of a sudden she was completely outside of her comfort zone. So the coaching focus with her was developing the right mindsets, developing the right habits, creating a sales plan so she could execute it, and really increasing her sense of confidence that she could take on this challenge. And she was kind of at the tail end of her career, probably the back 5 to 10 years of her career. So it was something that she had to buy into and want to do right from the get-go to be effective. And she has built a $1 million plus territory in 8-9 month period, and super successful. I continue to work with her. I love to see clients succeed. And really, from a manager coaching lens, I think this doesn't come up a lot sometimes in corporate with employees and one-on-ones of what's your mindset around this? What are your fears around this project? What are, I guess, any barriers that you see to making progress towards this? And having those honest conversations, it can be the most helpful thing for people to take massive action to get into the right mindset. And that's where a coach can help. So in terms of the 3 secrets I talked about earlier, we'll go through them here, but the first one is really about how the right coaching questions can drive accountability within a manager's team. And the second one is around how coaching can support your managers to become the best version of themselves so they can effectively coach their direct reports, so their direct reports trust them to coach them and to lead them. And the third one is around how can managers effectively coach others if they're not receiving that coaching by their executive leaders. Executive leaders are extremely busy, and sometimes that can be just the reality of it, that is a gap. So how do you ensure managers coach if they're not receiving that internally? So the first secret, coaching questions will drive accountability within your team. Some people, managers in healthcare, government, or small business might think, I don't understand how coaching my team will help me. However, by the end of the Coaching Skills for Managers program, your managers will have a deep understanding of the frameworks, the techniques, the right coaching questions, so they feel comfortable embracing those coachable moments when they come up unexpectedly with their direct reports. And your managers will increase their confidence in effectively coaching their team because they'll see the climate change, they'll see the engagement increase, and they'll see the strong relationships solidifying where their team is taking massive action and they're starting to reach their full potential through coaching from their managers. And as a result, your managers will become more engaged in their roles and start coaching their team to find their own answers rather than telling them what to do. You may be thinking, I don't understand how where my managers are supposed to magically find this time to coach their staff when they're in meetings, back to back all day. And perhaps your managers feel like other managers that I've worked with, where they're feeling the pressure from both sides, from the execs and from their direct reports. However, the truth is your team needs your managers to coach them to be successful. If your manager's team fails, that means your managers have failed them as a leader. I'll share with you a quick story. When I was in my last corporate executive role, I felt very similar to this, that I didn't have as much time as I wanted to spend with my team. I was in meetings back to back, the emails, they just never stopped. And what I learned is that the emails are just the noise. The heart of the business is run by people, and getting on the floor, picking up the phone, sending that text message, that impromptu outreach, that 5-minute coaching conversation, those connection moments are the most important thing. And those are the opportunities for coaching and driving performance. So that is something that was a huge eye-opener for me in my career. And I think every day when your managers coach their people, they develop and they get a little bit better every day. And this pays dividends over the long term because they're basically upskilling their team, right? That there shouldn't be a day that goes by that a direct report doesn't learn something while they're in the role. And coaching can be one of the most personalized ways to impart that knowledge. We know the number one reason that employees quit is because of poor quality managers, and it's the most important relationship with any employee is with their direct leader. So coaching can help build that trust and strengthen that relationship because they're investing and seeing the value of developing their people by spending the time to coach and develop their people. Your managers may say to you, again, I don't understand where I'm supposed to find the time to coach. However, coaching is the secret to help managers free up more time because it's helping them equip their team to deliver. So it's really the best and only way to reduce some of that pressure that your managers likely feel is to spend the time. So it's a bit of an upfront investment, but it's the job really of being an effective manager. The second secret we talked about is how your managers can become the best version of themselves so they can effectively coach their direct reports. Many people managers in healthcare, tech, government, small business owners, often they feel that they're strong with the technical details, but they find the people stuff draining. And I'll share with you a quick story. When I was traveling for work, I remember reaching out to a direct on my cell phone. I was at the airport, and she was really nervous about presenting at period review and feeling like the messaging from HR was kind of drowned out by the financial results being the focus of the meeting. However, we had a quick, I didn't know it at the time, but it was a coaching conversation. And I asked her about her accomplishments and I asked her to help reframe the mindset that she had so she felt good about going into the meeting. And when she did present the labor market analysis, the turnover rates, she had everyone's attention, and it was so awesome to see her be so successful in that meeting. And I think a small coaching conversation like that can really flip the switch for people so they go into an important meeting in a completely different headspace and they can be successful. But in terms of becoming the best version of yourself, it's really important that leaders buy into this, or people will not come to them looking for coaching because they won't trust the leader. So there's a definite link with leadership development and coaching, and the employee having the confidence that that leader can help them and can coach them. Beware the coach who doesn't have a coach. This is a picture of one of my coaches, business coach Dan Martel. Picture of us on the roof of Innovation Center in Kelowna, British Columbia. I had the privilege of having a 3-hour private coaching session with Dan in November, flew across the country for it. It was a big investment of time and money and phenomenal experience. If you're not familiar with Dan, he's from Moncton, New Brunswick, home team player, and successfully has exited 3 SaaS companies. He was a millionaire by the age of 27. And really effective at business growth. So similar to how my coach saw the potential in me right away, he doesn't meet with everybody. I'm probably not his typical client. I think it's typically billionaire CEOs, but similar to my coach seeing the potential in me and continuing to give me confidence to grow my business. As a manager coach, you can serve the same purpose for your employees. So a big part of coaching is truly believing and seeing the potential in others and articulating that, and it helps them see that in themselves so they can take action and they can be successful. And through coaching, the results that I know I've experienced with my small business is year over year, 150% growth in net profit with the agile lean team. And my experience has been, it's all about mindset, and that results in execution, which coaching helps support. So really, managers fear about getting removed from the technical work. Sometimes we hear this, that they want to be in the weeds, can stem from having the wrong mindset. Sometimes it's about feeling like they might not be needed if their technical skills wane, and they might lose respect. So encouraging managers to spend the time developing, coaching their team, letting go of the work is so important to really embrace the role of a manager, which is changing and it continues to change with AI as well. I think this is going to free up a lot more capacity for managers to coach. So it makes it even more important today that managers develop this skill set. So this is why we created at Power Up Leadership coaching skills for managers to transform your managers from overworked employees into impactful coaches who drive high performance, increase employee engagement, and achieve exceptional outcomes, driving accountability on their teams. So similar to others who have gone through this with our pilot, their experience was that they found it a great forum to discuss real life coaching challenges. And often, when an external coach leads this discussion, it creates a safer space for them to do so than an internal coach. So that was one comment. The other one was around passion for coaching, great knowledge and experience. I think when coaches have executive experience, it helps them understand and relate to the coachees and understand the challenges that managers may have on the job. So the third secret, the final secret we wanted to share with you today was how can your managers effectively coach others if they are not being coached by their executive leaders? So this comes up a lot, and it's really not true, because if your managers experience coaching, even if it's coaching from an external coach, they can influence the culture of the organization and they can even coach upwards in some cases. So this is a common perception that this can be a showstopper, but it's not. If they learn how to coach, a manager can coach their peers, they can coach their directs, they can coach upwards. So it's very much a skill that they can help bring to others in their workplace. I don't know how to coach as I've never been coached. So sometimes managers feel awkward at first when they're coaching their direct reports because it's something new to them. Practice makes progress, and it's really important to practice it in this program. And that's why we've made it such an applied program, so they can build that comfort level and practice with others outside of their organization. But the truth is that through this group coaching, through this one-on-one private coaching as part of this program, you will have ample opportunity to coach, and you will be coached by a professional certified coach who's worked with hundreds of managers just like you. So lots of opportunity to coach and experience coaching. I know the first time I experienced coaching in 2019 was with an individual by the name of Shameen. Met her through a 360 assessment certification process. She was facilitating the course, and I thought I knew what coaching was at the time, but when I signed up with her as a coach, it was early days of just going through the ACC, Associate Certified Coach credential at that time. I know each call I had with her, I came away from the call with new insights, and very different ones than what I anticipated having based on what I wanted coaching on going into the call. But it really, for me, changed how I interacted with other people, and really helped me connect and build relationships by reframing my assumptions I had about communicating with new people, and to hone in on false beliefs I had about the relationship building process. So I remember one action that came out of a coaching call with her one day was to talk to everyone I met at the grocery store, in the elevator, every opportunity to put this skill into practice, to just connect instantly with people. And I remember saying, really, like, people are going to think I'm crazy if I'm talking to them in the grocery store line and I'm, in Toronto or in Halifax, wherever, but it worked. And it was exactly the action that I needed, which I never would have come up with by myself without the coaching. So to give you some more details on this full program, 14-hour program, coaching skills for managers, how to transform your managers into leaders who empower, develop, and motivate their teams. This is a virtual public training and coaching program intended for people managers. It could be a new first-time people manager, or we also had, 20-year experienced people managers who had never learned coaching come through this last year. So it can be both new people managers and more experienced people managers as well. And it's really, again, about transforming their leadership style. So they start to coach their direct reports, and it will help your managers avoid being disappointed by their direct reports when they receive low quality work at the last minute, because they won't receive that anymore through their coaching. Their their direct reports will take on more, and they'll find their own answers, and they will take accountability for the work. What's included in the program? We have pre-training learning resources and materials, videos, frameworks, coaching questions, articles, a DISC workplace communications assessment, which will be very helpful in coaching to understand your natural communication style, whether you are more direct, more empathetic, more challenging, more accommodating, depending on your DISC type, and how you can flex that depending on who you're coaching. There are 6 90-minute virtual training sessions, which concentrate on a different topic. I'll share with you in a moment what those are. There's a coaching skills diagnostic that we've developed in-house after the training. Each participant will receive this so they can really hone in on where they need more support. So maybe it's active listening, maybe it's setting the coaching agenda, maybe it's getting into a coaching mindset before they have a coaching session. So that diagnostic will tease that out. Then there are 2 90-minute group coaching sessions led by an ICF coach, more time to practice the frameworks from the training. 4 private 30-minute coaching sessions where your managers can really build their leadership development skills and identify what goals they want personalized support on from their coach. And finally, we have post-coach training program learning resources and materials. So the training part of the program is made up of these 6 modules, 90 minutes each, all virtual. We're recording the training. So if there is a conflict with dates, you can always check the recording out on the training session, although I think it's always great to be there to ask your questions. So module 1 embodies coaching mindset. 2, we talk about how to create that safe, trusting coaching relationship. 3, active listening as a coach. The 4th module is about communicating by asking powerful questions. In module 5, empowerment and accountability with coaching. And finally, module 6, build coaching behaviors that last. This is the most applied. They're all very interactive, but of the 6 modules, half of the content, module 6, is us feeding the participants different coaching scenarios and giving them an opportunity to coach and debrief on what worked and what didn't work. So as I mentioned, we did pilot this with 75 managers last year at WorkSafe New Brunswick. They're putting through an additional 17 this year because they did find a lot of value from the program. The average response we received out of 10 was 9 in terms of how prepared do you feel to coach your reports after this session. And 95% agreed or strongly agreed that their coaches helped them create goals for themselves that were both valuable and challenging. You might be thinking your direct reports won't respond to coaching, that even with this program, they won't take accountability for the work. But that's a mistake, because when they feel that you don't see their value or recognize their potential or invest time into coaching them, their confidence and commitment to take on more will decrease. They need to feel that you see that potential to increase their accountability and commitment. And what you're going to get from this program is managers who are transformed into leaders who do empower, who do develop, who do motivate their teams. Just like the case study I shared with you earlier about the client who was feeling bored in her role and really needed to receive coaching to gain that clarity and that motivation on what she needed to do next to engage in her current role. Your managers will also expand their ability to coach their direct reports to really identify their motivators and what barriers may be holding them back from taking action. And by experiencing coaching and bringing real world problem scenarios to this program, which you will receive coaching on from your ICF coach, you can start immediately to apply the content to real problems in your day-to-day world. So we know the average ROI from coaching is between 500 to 700% based on a study ICF conducted with PwC. It works. It's personalized development. It's very practical development. And just like the other case study I shared with you about the sales exec who made the major transition to a new role and had a bit of imposter syndrome that she was going to be effective building a new sales territory, focusing on the mindset through coaching, getting the right habits in place to create that sales plan, it made it easier for her because she was stuck in her current thinking. I honestly don't think she would have got across the line without the support of creating the new mindset and giving her the frameworks for how to do that. So similar to the story I shared with you when I was in my executive role and struggled as a people manager, part of my role dealing with conflict, dealing with stress, misalignment on the team, and not having the support system to be effective and figure that out, you won't have to face that challenge because I'm giving you all the frameworks, all the coaching questions, all the templates to make it easy to bring coaching to your managers. And this will make it faster and easier for your managers to achieve results because they'll have the chance to observe coaching sessions firsthand, debriefed by a professional certified coach through International Coaching Federation as part of the training and the group sessions. And as well, any challenges they don't feel comfortable bringing to the larger group call, they can receive that private confidential coaching through the one-on-one private 30-minute sessions, the 4 private sessions that are part of the program. So what is a program like this worth? We spent 400 hours designing it and putting it together and refining all the learning materials as part of it. So I think it's worth at least $12,000 USD, but we have priced this to make it accessible. We want to bring this to as many managers as we can. We have priced it at $1,850 USD. And this, I think, is a tremendous value for everything that's included in the program. And probably the biggest value is that your managers will stop working every night and on weekends, spending hours reviewing, revising their direct reports' work, because they won't have as many quality changes that they'll need to make to it because they'll be coaching their team and they'll be receiving higher quality work as a result. So through this program, our managers receive access to coaching.com, the coaching skills diagnostic I spoke about, the DISC assessment, the 4 private coaching sessions, the 2 90-minute group coaching sessions, and of course, the 9 hours of virtual training over 6 sessions. And really, this can help support your managers to achieve results more quickly. The workplace is definitely moving to a coaching model away from command and control and to coaching. So this gives them all the tools they need in one spot to start applying this over a 12-week period, 14-hour program over 12 weeks, so they can bring away their insights as they take these frameworks, put them into practice. They can bring back to their coach what's working well and where they need more support. Again, you might be thinking, I don't have time to complete this program right now, and it's not going to help me. But that's not true because there's never a great time to start any program. And by prioritizing your team and their development and their growth, that's going to help you reach your business goals better than anything. And usually when I hear people say they don't have time for it, they're the ones that need it the most, honestly. So that's my experience. And potentially, this could save you hundreds of thousands of dollars over the course of your career by providing coaching and growing your teams. People want to work for leaders who coach. It can attract a higher quality caliber of talent. And it's really a game changer for many people once they experience coaching for the first time. The benefits can also include helping people get promoted more quickly. It can free up more time for them to spend with their friends and families, and help them avoid the stress of working every weekend and night and not tapping into their team because the manager's trying to do everyone's job as well as their own. That's really, I think, the biggest pitfall with a new people manager. They take on too much. They underestimate their team, and coaching can help them really, really support and develop their team and rely on their team to do the work. You may be thinking you don't want to put in the work to complete this program, that you already know how to coach, but that's not true. You can't be an effective coach without a coach. And I think everyone needs coaching in multiple areas of their life. So for those participants who are on this webinar today, right until the end, we are willing to offer you a promotion. I believe this is a 20% promotion. If you register and enroll and pay for the program by the end of the week, we will offer it to you for $14.80 USD, and happy to honor that until end of day Friday. We also have corporate discounts for 5+ more participants. So is it worth it? If all you got from this program was more action taken by your direct reports, would it be worth it? If all it did was create better relationships on your team, one of the top outcomes from coaching, would it be worth it? And if all this program did was create more productivity on your team, would it be worth the investment of $14.80 USD? We guarantee you'll start to see results in only 30 days. And we're willing to offer you a full money back guarantee within the first 6 months of the program if you take it and you don't observe the results, because I'm not confident that coaching works and our team can help you get there. So to claim this 20% discount, you can just reach out to us. Susan at powerupleadership.ca is my email, or send us a message to info@powerupleadership.ca, and we can help get you set up. So that is the presentation. We share all our frameworks on social media. We know the value we provide in the implementation, so you're welcome to follow us. We're on LinkedIn, Meta, X, and YouTube as well. Our program is under this site, powerupleadership.ca/coaching-skills-for-managers. We'll send out the link to you. But there's an apply button. You can fill out the intake form, and that's the first step to get registered in the program. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen and see if there's any questions. I do not see any questions. I really appreciate you making the time to be here today, and check out our website, powerupleadership.ca, for the full program details. Thanks so much. Have a great day.